The next section in chapter 1 is knowing is half the battle. Knowing is half the battle. I didn't start with knowing is half the battle because what we talked about before kind of comes before knowing, because you have to start with an intuition, with a hunch, and that's based off of everything you've grown and you've developed into up until this point. But now you want to take it to another level, so knowing is half the battle. You have to know what you're looking at when you see it, and that's going to come from research. So you know, your phone becomes your best friend in this particular case. Googling, looking up prices, checking out names, learning the history, learning the manufacturer's details, all of those things help you assess the value of the item so that you can know what you want to pay for it, or or what you can sell it for, what it is. So all of these things determine how do you move forward with the item. So knowing is half the battle. The best merchants are the knowledgeable merchants. They know the most about their product. They know the most about the marketplace. They know the most about the materials that went into the product, where the product was made. All of these different elements is what makes you strong when you're delivering your service or your items to the audience. We used to collect magazines before the phones were out, before blogging was out. We used to collect fashion magazines, and we used to look through the editorials. We used to read the ads, looking at different you know, the way that the magazines were put together, the way that they were merchandised. You know, all of this stuff helped our eye. It helped our research. So now when we get out in the field and we're looking at things, we understand it in this raw form, but we now have seen things similar to it or things like it in market or in editorial, you know, and that gives you that gives you an aptitude so that you understand it in its beginning, in its middle, and its end when you see it in its raw, you know. So following different accounts that you know, that are information based, you know, looking at old pictures, you know, seeing the way certain things were used in real time. So I used to look at, you know, military pictures, or I used to look at older, you know, college pictures or school yearbook pictures. I even collect a lot of those stuff from time to time because those pictures give you application. Okay, this is what the function was during its era. So now, do I want to take it outside of its original function? Can I repurpose this? Can I reuse this? Can I revitalize it and use it the way that it was used back then? Knowledge is going to help you make those decisions. You can't break the rules until you know the rules yourself. So a lot of art is taking things, juxtapositioning them, taking them outside of its natural element, putting it inside of an environment that it doesn't belong. In order to get this, you know, to get these things off, you have to know and understand what it was in its origin. And sometimes not knowing what it was allows you to focus on what it looks like, and that kind of works for sculptures and things that you want to hang, like hanging apparatuses, or when you're making light fixtures or things like that. So when you have something that you like the lines in it, you like the colors in it, you don't really know what it is, it's a piece of something, that's cool too. So your knowledge of materials, your knowledge of, you know, representation, something that looked like this, or it represents something that you can mimic. You have to have a base knowledge, or you have to further your research before you start to settle in on your decision. So basically, you can't break the rules unless you know the rules first.